Hello, my name is Eric Roslansky, and this is an explanation of Epenthesis in the Japanese context of English pronunciation. This is a brief explanation supplementing my article in the University Grapevine. Before I get into the meat of this presentation, I want to just clarify that this is in the context of Japanese speakers of English, and these speakers are very low level in oral English production. They are either perhaps quite young or have had very few opportunities or very little training in oral English production. So let's take a look at what is English versus Japanese orthography to kind of get an idea of why the epenthesis problems are happening in Japanese pronunciation of English words. So your English letters are individual sounds. Not all phonemes are treated the same. You've got exceptions depending on the word and the surrounding letters, and also the influence through different languages that English words are taken from. And a lot of this is just heavily weighted towards the implicit knowledge of how the words are pronounced just by looking at them and what you would expect. Also, how the word falls within the sentence. So if it's the verb form or noun form of a certain word, its pronunciation can also change. The Japanese use a kana system for a lot of their speaking and writing. There's syllable sounds. These are syllable sounds, and the sounds do not change significantly at all on in the stream of speech. There are a few, if any, exceptions to the rules, and these rules are fairly inflexible. While this does help with predictability and a consistency on the rules, the sounds therefore are quite limited and cannot represent very many of terminal phonemes. In fact, the most terminal sounds on all of these syllables, with the exception of n, it ends in a vowel sound. Now, the representation of other languages is used often in these katakana pronunciations, and it has a lot of limitations, but they do try their best to use the Japanese pronunciation rules to apply to foreign words. Once again, I would like to clarify that this is for the very low-level speakers or very young speakers. Experienced speakers of English will have overcome these syllabary limitations and have a much more smooth and linked stream of speech. So it's good to now use this time to explain what kana is. It's two syllabaries, hiragana and katakana, that both have the same sounds, but they have different purposes, and in written form, they have distinct styles. Together, they represent all the sounds in the Japanese language. Your 46 individual sounds, which can have digraphs formed by combining some of the syllables. But they're still basically limited by the 46 base sounds. And a lot of that is repeated with the 5 vowel sounds, a, I, u, e, and o. So when using those 5 terminal sounds, it creates a large opportunity for epenthetical problems to arise in the stream of speech. So when using a kana system for foreign language words, it is still used as a syllabary with the limitations imposed within just by the nature of a syllabary. So let's take a look at kana in the English language classroom. Consider these 3 syllables from the kana syllabaries. Gu, re, and I. Combined might be pronounced as gurei for the word gray. So with the beginning speakers, it would be pronounced out as 3 syllables, gurei, and that you can hear the strong influence from the native tongue in how this pronunciation goes. With experience, learners would be much better at combining these into a single syllable, of course. Now for a slightly more extreme example, which can cause errors in comprehensibility. The 3 syllables wa, n, to, combined wanto for the word want. When the final sound is always to, you can hear that added o at the end of the t from toe. It creates problems with comprehensibility in the stream of speech. For some examples, like I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. The words want and to, when put together, and the epenthesis, instead of hearing want to be, want to, has a strong inserted syllable which can cause problems with comprehensibility in that students' productions. A very extreme example of this epenthesis would be the students pronouncing it as I want to be a doctor, and this strongly affects the comprehensibility of that utterance. As for why this is so prevalent within the Japanese context, well, of course they're going to use kana because that is something that they know and they can write and read it, and familiarity is the reason why they make these choices, because that is something that they can use, a tool that they can employ in the language context. And for beginning students, just learning first words and sounds, it does seem to work well enough for the language classroom. Unfortunately, some of them get into a habit that they just can't escape from easily. And so this is the main reason why I am teaching linking in the classroom, to help them reduce the influence of epenthesis on their words and increase their comprehensibility.